to the marketplace. Coming up in this edition, Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Addison, attributes recent decline in inflation to efforts by the central bank to stabilize prices.
Just yesterday, we have had a new reading of inflation. We suggest that we have stayed on the inflation path, with inflation declining by nearly 3 percentage points.
Well, Ghana and 8 other African countries to benefit from the potential source of new investment for future projects in the oil and gas sector. We will hear from a report by UK-based Economist Intelligence Report. Plus, today is the beginning of Joy News Ecobank Habitat Fair Safety and Home Solutions promises to give patrons of the mouth-watering discounts and value for money when they visit their stand for their door solutions. We will tell you more.
If they are coming here, they are paying the money, they should go rest home and sleep. Everything is going to take care by the safety and home solution.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Also, we are giving this to the customers on a complimentary basis. We are not charging for the delivery and customer service. That is the part of our company. The best thing is the service.
We have details of these and more shortly. Grateful for your company. I am Pious, Kojo, Backah. To our very first story, Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Addison, says recent decline in inflation is due to measures implemented by the central bank. Inflation declined for the month of August to 40.1% from 43.1% recorded in July this year. According to Dr. Addison, the situation could be focused on implementing the prudent measures. Let's take a listen to him.
You would notice that in 2022, we went through an economic crisis for which the government requested for a 3 billion ECF facility from the IMF to restore fiscal and debt sustainability, which has led to a major restructuring of our debt. There are important lessons that we have learned, which we will share with our colleagues during these meetings. Presently, we are focused on implementing a prudent framework to restore stability and promote inclusive growth. We are quite confident about the outlook, as just yesterday we have had a new reading of inflation. It suggests that we have stayed on the disinflation path, with inflation declining by nearly 3 percentage points.
Now, Ghana and 8 other African countries will benefit from the potential source of new investments for future projects in the oil and gas sector. That's according to the Economist Intelligence Unit's Africa Report 2023 report titled The Challenges Ahead. According to the UK-based firm, the decision by European countries to replace Russian oil and gas with alternative supplies will provide a short to medium-term boost to demand for African energy suppliers. Here's more.
The report said many foreign oil and gas investors are seeking to explore opportunities in resource-rich countries such as Ghana. Similarly, African mining ventures, especially those in Botswana and the Democratic Republic of Congo, could receive more attention should Western-based mining companies and commodity traders increasingly shun Russian supplies of copper, diamonds, gold, iron ore, among other mineral products. Furthermore, the EIU said less resource-intensive and more diversified training economies will continue to be among the region's fastest-growing economies, including Kenya, Côte d'Ivoire, and Mauritius. Meanwhile, African exporters will face a more challenging external business environment in 2023, although the outlook is far from gloomy. According to the UK-based firm, major export operations are highly exposed to the fortunes of the European Union, the USA, and China. Also, some businesses will face much softer demand in these markets in the year ahead.
All right, so let's go back to our earlier story where the governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Nes Addison, made an assertion that the development we are seeing as a result of the downward inflation trend is due to measures they have implemented. Let's get a better understanding of this as we analyze this. And economist Professor Lord Mercer joins us via phone for more on this. Pleasure you could join me, sir, on Marketplace. First of all, do you think or agree that the measures taken by the Monetary Policy Committee on the policy rate could be the slowdown or could be attributed to the slowdown we are seeing in inflation declining to 40.1% in August?
Yeah, well, I don't think so. In the sense that it's too early to talk about trend, downward trend. Monetary policy dynamics over the past few years has either been maintained or it has to go up, and its impact on inflation has been quite insensitive. And then also, if you look at the seasonal dynamics of the inflation, clearly September has always been a month of more or less inactive economic activities in this country. And so usually we record low inflation, relative low inflation in September. I would say that it's too early to attribute the policy measures having impact on the what we call it, the inflation. And so let's wait and see how consistent this measure will keep on bringing the inflation down, so we can attribute, the policy committee measures on inflation. But for now, I see the inflation dynamics to be insensitive to the policy rate.
And are we likely to see this trend going to slow down?
Yes, there is that kind of, you see, the inflation went up and it got to around 50-something%, which was the peak that we could have gotten to. And now we've come to learn a lesson with the IMF program and all those. We're going to see that kind of, downward spiral. And it will be slow from the beginning, but over time, it will accelerate downward.
Professor Mercer, what signal does this trend send to Monetary Policy Committee, and what is the forecast for them when the MPC meets again?
Yeah, so when they meet again, once inflation has started showing a downward trend, if it turns up that, interest rate, which is, I'm talking about investment rate, also shows a signal downward, then obviously we can relate it to more or less an economic, recovery. But now that, government is on the market looking for money and treasury bill rate keeps on going up, there seems to be kind of a stalemate in fighting inflation because one hand, government is borrowing to keep interest rates up, which will whet the appetite of investors, to invest in treasury bills and other things. And then on the other hand, government is also fighting inflation, using the monetary policy. And so if it turns up that, they have to keep, that pace going, then probably they will have no choice than to increase, the policy rate. But then when they increase it, we should know that it also has, a feed into the interest rate structure, which will affect, the treasury bill rate. So there should be a balance one way or the other. But from what I think, either they maintain or increase it to keep the pace of, inflation, targeting.
Finally, I want to have your thoughts on this. The governors of central banks in West Africa are meeting in Ghana to deliberate on the single currency UCO. Now, do you think that the 2027 deadline proposed time will be enough for at least two countries to meet the convergence criteria to start the circulation of the currency?
Yeah, I don't foresee that. Probably the convergence criteria needs to be revised because if you look at when it was set, most of these countries were running almost a single-digit inflation. But now, which is one of the criteria, one of them, the first one is to have single-digit inflation, also looking at the budget deficit of about 4%, looking at central bank financing of no more than, 10%. Probably, and let me emphasize on this, probably, if we keep on being disciplined as far as, these IMF measures are concerned, then we may get into some of these indicators that will call for meeting the convergence criteria. But from now to 2027, which is about 4 years from now, I don't think Ghana, per se, or any of the two countries may be able to meet, the convergence criteria.
We are grateful, Professor Lord Mercer, for your time here on The Marketplace. He's an economist. To one of our headline stories, of course, which happens to be our Joy News Ecobank Habitat Fair, leading door outlet Safety and Home Solutions has promised to give patrons of the Joy News Ecobank Habitat Fair value for money when they visit their stand. A one-stop shop for all door solutions, the company offers a blend of smart technology and durable, stylish doors to keep your home secured. Here's more.
With a focus to empower homeowners to fortify their homes against intruders while granting you an elegant walk-in, Safety and Home Solutions offers cutting-edge exterior and interior security doors. From bulletproofs, French doors, you name it, and you are sure Safety and Home Solutions will produce to your specification. I met with Ravi, the technical works manager at their showroom.
As you can see, is in the different sizes. Double door, single door, 1.5 door, depend on the requirement. So as I can show you, this is the door. So this is exactly, the dimension is 1.8 cm by 2.1 cm. Okay. So it works like this. Both we have left hand open and the right hand open, right? It works on a locking system which we call as central locking. Okay. Here it locks 3 times. This one key is locking here, and up.
Okay.
Also, this side we have down and we have up. Okay. So if the person is bringing something big, he can open both the doors. And if suppose normal walking, people are coming and going, this place can be locked. So this is the basic idea of our door, which meets the full security aspects for individual's house.
Wow. So now, how many types of security doors do you have? This is not the only one I see. I see a couple of others. So maybe you can show us what are the types of security doors you have. Generally,
we have 3 or 4 types of security doors, in which we have the sizes also, single, 1.5, double. In all this was the glass finish, what I showed you just now. This one is the embossed wood finish, because this wood is a treated wood. When it's come in the contact with the rain, with the sun, any atmospheric problem, any environment, these doors can withstand, because these are made with the finest technology in Turkey. As we have explained you, we have 3 types of doors. One was the glass door, second was the wooden door, and this is a galvanized steel door which is made up of 15 mm gauge thickness of metal sheet. This can be exposed to any weather condition, no matter what, but the door will give you the same security as the person is when they pay, they think. So this also has the same locking system. This 3 times, this 3 times, down and up. Also we have the latch, so that in the case of emergency, if suppose somebody is knocking, the unknown person, the unexpected person, you know nowadays lot of intruders, they come, they don't call, and unexpected people, they knock. If suppose the small child is inside, he doesn't have to unlock the door, only he can just put small, so the latch can attach this one and he can see the person. Whether he knows the person, he can let him in. If he doesn't know, he can just close the door. In terms of the security, our doors are coming from the Turkey, the real finest wood with the cutting edge technology. Okay, here you won't get in Ghana anywhere. Secondly, we are giving the best customer service what the customer wants, because when the customer is paying the money, is not only when they are paying and they should take the hustle also for the delivery, for the installation. What if they are coming here, they are paying the money, they should go rest home and sleep. Everything is going to take care by the safety and home solution.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Also, we are giving this to the customers on a complimentary basis. We are not charging for the delivery and customer service. That is the part of our company.
In the warehouse.
If I want to stop, on my one press, it is coming down. It's a remote control. It stops. Apart from this, if suppose sometime there is no electricity, the motor is not working, it can be also work on a normal manual system. You can see it works on a manual system. We are the only company in Ghana who does the pivot doors. Please see. This is a giant big pivot door which is mainly made for the entrance of the door. The people who built the big villas, they need the main entrance door, big door.
What is it that pushed Home Security Doors to participate in the Ecobank Habitat Fair, Ecobank Joy News Habitat Fair? Okay,
when I heard about the Habitat, okay, actually we have never heard about the Habitat. We used to take the part in the Builders Corporation, what we used to held at Accra fair, trade fair area. But this time when we heard about the Habitat, we wanted to use that platform, okay, to reach out more and more public, because we know this Joy News, Joy FM is good in Ghana. I heard about them, so that is why we thought of taking the part in it, so that we can showcase our door and we can tell the people that what are we about.
If your home is located in waterlogged areas or your walls experience dampness, worry no more, as Safety and Home Solutions offers diverse solutions for you. Howard Tali is the sales lead.
Seal and bond. Okay, so let's say you are experiencing dampness on the wall. So that's an old wall that has been affected. So what we advise is you chisel the small area, like let's say 3 feet. Yeah, you chisel about like 3 feet.
Right.
Then you mix this in your mortar to do the replastering.
Okay.
So the chemical prevents the water from rising up. It's like you've sealed the wall. It's like you form like a sealant on the wall.
Right. Sure. Right. Sure. So what else do you have?
Okay. So this is Semcoat. Yeah. This one is mainly for water retaining areas, your water tank, your swimming pool, and your bathrooms. Yeah. Before you lay the tiles. So you just paint the surface before laying the tiles. It holds the water, because it's going to be like stagnant water, like swimming pool, and so those areas.
So it makes it more waterproof.
Yes, please. Yeah, sure. Right. Pea powder, and the rest is L. We have the small one. We have 1 liter. We have 5 liter. These ones are admixtures for any concrete work. It's just an admixture which prevents future. So fresh work, you can add it in your mortar work for future dampness, like to prevent dampness and all that. Yeah. So it's prevention, but this is for treatment. And we have salt neutralizer as well. So if it's a salty area, okay. So before you apply the seal and bond, if it's a salty area, you apply it on the block work. Yeah. That's so
before you plaster.
Yes, please. Yeah. So you apply it. That is if it's a salty area. You apply the seal and bond on the block.
Wondering where to locate Safety and Home Solutions? Let's hear from Ravi.
For now, we have only one branch, which is located here on the Spintex Road, Accra, and we are right opposite to the Framer House, as you know, our showroom. Also, you can locate us on the social media page. Our logo is SAHS, which means Safety and Home Solutions. SAHS, S for Safety and Home Solutions. Okay, our profile name is Safety and Home Solution. You can find the same on the Facebook and the Instagram. 05949682288. Please feel free for any queries anytime. Even if you call us on Sunday, you will get the reply.
Like their slogan, think of a door, and you are sure Safety and Home Solutions would definitely have it.
And we do know that the 2023 Ecobank Joint Habitat Fair is happening live at the Tema metropolitan area. You need to be there for all your housing needs will be addressed. Let's talk showbiz. Today is Friday, and a couple of weeks ago, Ghanaian actress Nikki Samunas mentioned that the local movie industry is booming. This was an interesting perspective, especially considering that other stakeholders in the sector had previously decried a decline, which many attributed to a lack of funding and a change in distribution channels. Coincidentally, this discussion aligned with a conversation we had a few weeks ago about digital streaming here on the show. On that day, during our all-new segment, Show Business, music creators were educated on ways to capitalize on digital streaming. By popular request, culture journalist Kenneth Awatwi-Darko is back, this time with a focus on the movie streaming industry. In this report, he explores the global outlook, threats, and prospects for the local industry.
Pious, as you rightly mentioned, a couple of weeks ago, we had a conversation about how music streaming across the world can be taken advantage of by our compatriots here in Ghana and Africa as well. Now, by popular request, as you also said, we are back here with the video side of things and how movie makers, filmmakers can take advantage of streaming in their industries to ensure that they also get a piece of the pie. Now, it's basically a global market that was valued at about $450 billion as of last year. This year, it has been projected that it's going to hit some $550 billion. So by end of this year, we should see a lot of money in that particular space. Now, these numbers are gathered from streaming giants that have been in the space for quite a while now. You can mention of the likes of Netflix, there is Amazon Prime, there's Apple TV, there's Hulu Plus, Paramount, among others. All of these are technology giants that are taking advantage of their industry in there, and has been rising for the past few years since social media came into the system. And then it is basically a space that all of these giants are looking forward to taking advantage of, looking at how big the numbers are and the projections as it stands right now. Since this modality of consuming video content became a thing, the only way has been up. Now, as internet accessibility expanded, more and more people became cognizant of the fact that this was a way to go, and this basically became very pronounced back in 2020 when COVID-19 hit. We all know that as part of the conditions of, curbing the spread of the disease, there was less and less in-person contact, which meant that people who would want to go to the cinema or go to the theater to see their favorites, movies or plays, amongst other things, now were restricted to their devices, and that's where the goods came in. So not in that year 2020, there was a growth rate of 5.7% that year when it comes to the global markets in the streaming industry. So in terms of revenue, the market also witnessed an increase in revenue of about $297 million, or billion I should say, dollars in that year as well. So it wasn't even just limited to the entertainment sector. I mean, other sectors basically needed digital transformation tools to accelerate their work from home modalities. So it was only going to get better. The fact that the future of video streaming is looking promising, that don't mean that there are no setbacks as we speak. Piracy is a very big issue of concern for people in the particular space. Now, as you can imagine, there are so many different illegal sites that are also putting out same content that have been licensed to be put out by the legitimate streaming platforms. For instance, in last year, there was about 20% increase in visits to illegal downloading sites. And so it tells you how much of a threat that piracy is to this particular industry. So one may ask how Ghana can take advantage of this booming business, basically. Now, when it comes to the geographical sphere, North America is basically accounting for the largest revenue share when it comes to digital streaming or video streaming. Now, they are followed closely by Europe, and then there's the Asia Pacific as well. And then Africa is gradually getting into the fray, even though a lot more and more youth are, using the various streaming platforms. Now, when it comes to Ghana specifically, there are different ways that we can take advantage of it, even though the continent is now, gravitating towards it a lot. Now, for the Ghana movie industry, for instance, or Gollywood or Kumawood or whatever, any group of people may call it, there are different ways that can be explored in order to leapfrog when it comes to video streaming. For instance,
my colleague Kenneth Awachidako there with today's edition of Show Business. And that's how we part company here on the marketplace. I am Pious Kojo Backah. For more stories, do log on to myjoyonline.com/business. Always a pleasure serving you. Do enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Bye.